It's time for Success in Real Estate with Frankie Griffin, owner and broker in charge of the Palmetto Success Team, certified residential specialist, accredited buyer representative, military relocation professional, real estate appraiser, and author of Success in Real Estate. If you are interested in buying or selling a home, investing in real estate, or having your home appraised, you will enjoy Success in Real Estate. Now, here's Frankie Griffin.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Success in Real Estate. I'm Frankie Griffin, broker in charge and appraiser. Thank you so much for joining us this morning, because in studio I do have South Carolina's professional real estate stager, Tiffany Sowers, is in studio. We're going to bring her on, and she's going to tell us exactly what to do to set that home up. And let me start out with some statistics that from our February market numbers, real estate market numbers that is, that I think is very interesting. It says our new listings throughout the state were up 5%, where pending sales increased 13.5%. Inventory shrank 5%. And let's see, prices moved higher as the median sales price was up 5.6%. The days on the market decreased 6.5%, and the month's supply of inventory was down 13.6% to 7 months, which was much higher than that, obviously. So all these numbers really look good, especially if you're thinking about selling your home anytime soon. Now would be the great time to do that. A lot of buyers are out there, and I know Tiffany, I was just talking to her, and she's very busy also. It's just a great time to be selling your home. A lot of buyers, and I think it's going to get even busier throughout the day. But the key to getting it sold is it's got to show well. We can get buyers to come and look, but at the end of the day, it's got to look good and it's got to show well. And part of that may be just doing a little bit of staging. But again, in studio with me is Tiffany Sowers. How you doing this morning, Tiffany?
Doing great. Glad to be here. Good morning, everybody.
Awesome. It's been, you've been on the show a few times, but it's been a long time since the last time.
Yeah, and staging's gotten even hotter since then.
Well, I know you do an awful lot of it, and you're a realtor yourself.
Yes, I am.
And now, what company are you?
I'm with Russell and Jeff Coat at the Irmo office.
Okay, very nice. But you do a lot of staging, and for those that, I'm sure people probably understand or know what staging is when I say it, but what is that? What are we trying to accomplish when I say I want you to come stage my home?
All right, staging is the art of decorating a home for sale. It's a lot different than normal interior decorating. If you were living in your home and you called a decorator, the decorator designer is going to customize the house to your needs. Staging is different than that. Staging is where we're trying to decorate the house for sale. So you're actually going to have less items. It's not going to be as much personal things as there would be versus decorating a home.
Well, and that's going to be so critical, because a lot of, and I'm this way, I can walk in a house and maybe to the point where this might be a positive in my advantage, but if I walk in, it really, no matter how the room's set, it just doesn't bother me one way or another, because I don't have enough sense to know if it looks good or it don't.
Right.
As long as that TV is right in front of the chair, I'm
fine.
I'm good.
You're fine.
And it's not too far to the refrigerator.
Right.
Then, everything else we can certainly make work, and it's not that big a deal. But a lot of people are just not like that. And one of the things I was asking you about before we came on, you see a lot of times a homeowner put the house on the market, they will have already moved somewhere else, but a lot of times they'll leave all their furniture behind and just leave it in the house. Is that a good idea?
Yeah, to some point. Right now, today's buyers, if you can look at what all has sold recently, buyers want an updated house. They do like the older homes, but they want them to look newer. So if your furniture's old, if you still have, floral prints and plaids and old furniture, it probably wouldn't be best. And try to remember that we're trying to sell the house, not the stuff. So if there's too much furniture in there, the buyer and the realtor is just going to be looking at your stuff and not looking at the house. And we're trying to sell the house. So it needs to be kind of a perfect balance. I understand if you can't, take all the furniture, but there's great consignment stores. There's a lot of charities that could use some of the furniture. So it may be best to get rid of a lot of it.
Well, and I see it all the time where, let me start by just saying this. You hear people, especially you're like yourself, being in staging. First of all, you want to go in and declutter.
Yes.
I hear that all the time.
Big time.
In fact, Jerry tells me that every time. First thing he asks me before he goes to shoot the house.
Yeah.
Is it cleaned up and has it been decluttered and have you gotten these personal pictures out of the way?
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And by the way, what's the big deal with the pictures? Why can't we leave pictures in there?
I get asked that all the time, and you actually can keep some of your pictures, but we don't need a shrine. If you're going to keep some of your pictures up, which I understand grandchildren and your kids and things, and you're proud of them, we want to make the house look homey, but not too much. So what I recommend is to have one area, like one bookcase where all those pictures go on there, or one hallway or something like that to where there's some pictures, but the rest of the house, I don't need to see the clutter.
And and I know we've got very little time left, about 1 minute in this segment, but this is sort of a kudos to my partner, Stacy.
Yeah.
She is so awesome working with buyers, because one of the things she likes to do is meet the buyers at their home or wherever they live right now,
right?
Because she wants to see what they've got, their decor and stuff,
right?
And then when she's showing a house to the buyers, she can decorate it in their mind with their stuff on.
Yep.
Could you imagine like this piece of furniture over there and put this here, and that helps that buyer start to see this house becoming their home.
Oh yes.
And so staging is so important, whether it be the physical staging or even helping them see in their mind.
Oh yeah, and as an agent, if you can learn that ability to help your buyers even more, it's great.
Yep, that's why I let her work
her magic
very close with the buyers. That's for sure.
And now, the Mortgage Update with Erica Hill West on Success in Real Estate.
All right, good morning and welcome back to Success in Real Estate. It is time for our Mortgage Update with Erica Hill West. She is our mortgage go-to gal. If you are looking at buying a house, and obviously it's always the buyer's legal right to choose any lender they want to use, I highly recommend at least talk to Erica. She is absolutely the best at what she does, and I promise you, if she doesn't answer the phone when you call her, she'll be calling you right back. That I can assure you. But she's on the line with us right now. How you doing, Miss Erica?
I'm doing great. How are you, Frankie?
Oh, this is such a fine day today. And I've got a young lady sitting in the studio that was telling me how wonderful you were.
Well, I think she's wonderful, too.
Good morning, Erica.
Hey, Tiffany. How are you?
Doing great.
Well, it is so busy out there right now, Erica, and I know you're seeing the same things. And I don't know if I'm supposed to say, can I talk about what you're going to be doing here shortly?
Yes, yeah.
Okay, I didn't want to throw something out there I wasn't supposed to say, but Erica's getting ready to be a mommy.
I am.
And when is this supposed to be?
Like 24 days.
24 days.
24 days. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So soon. Really, really soon.
Well, just make sure you do it like right after the show, so that you'll be ready in time for the next week's show.
That's right. That's all we have to worry about.
Because we can't miss the show.
No, I'm. The wonderful thing about our business is that as long as I have a telephone and a computer and at least an hour or two to myself a day, I usually can continue as normal. So, and I have an assistant, and I'm a business partner, so hopefully nobody should be able to tell that I have just birthed a child in the next couple months. So
yes, you do have a wonderful team, and I have no worries. You'll be able to take care of everybody and take care of that baby.
Oh, well, thank you.
What a testimonial. That is awesome. Well, we've been hearing about pressure pressure on the feds to try to start raising these interest rates, but now I'm hearing probably not so, at least in the long-term mortgages and loans. Is that what you're hearing?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. We all know that eventually rates are going to have to go up. But if I'm being honest, I think that they're pretty consistent with where, especially here in South Carolina, where the economy is. I think that they're fair rate.
Yeah.
Where for a long time when rates were close, 30-year rates were close to in the twos, I didn't necessarily think that the economy was warranting it. And so I knew that it wasn't going to stay for forever. I do think that we're closer to where we should be, according to where we are economically. And so I think that does provide consumers and people in this industry a little bit more stability. And that's why I think the feds have decided just to kind of leave them where they are. We're still, if we see movement, it's slight, an eighth of a point here. Nothing crazy, which is nice. Watch me say that, and then rates come out today and they go up a half a point. That's just my luck. But I think that we are going to see them increase a little bit in the summer because they always do. They always have. But that really shouldn't deter people because, like I've told you, Frankie, a number of times, there's so many more factors to consider besides interest rate when you're purchasing. Yeah. Because just because a product has the lowest interest rate doesn't mean it's the most advantageous product for you.
Oh, you're so right there. And you're so, because that's the only thing most people really understand is the interest rate, and they want to base everything off that. But it is possible to pay a little bit higher interest rate and still get a cheaper loan. That's
right. That is absolutely right. And that is really hard for people to wrap their heads around, that I may be able to put you in a conventional loan that has a higher interest rate, but you pay less over the course of 30 years and less on a monthly basis.
Sure. And plus the interest, if I got to pay more for something, I'd rather it be interest since it is tax deductible, at least for the time being.
That's true. That is very, very true.
So I do like that. Now, let me ask you, too, and I don't know if you can answer this question or not, but I've got a client that is interested and keeps asking me about a wraparound mortgage. Mm-hmm. Do you know what that is? Or?
Yes, I can explain it briefly, as much as I understand them. A wraparound mortgage is actually like a seller financed product. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like owner financing. And what pretty much happens is the owner usually has a mortgage of their own, okay? Mm-hmm. But they want to sell their house, and for whatever reason they can't, or the person that's interested in it can't get a traditional conforming mortgage through a financial institution at the time. What the seller can do is provide something called a wrap or a wrap mortgage, where they create their own terms. And you'd have to go to an attorney to execute this, by the way.
Yeah.
Because there is a transfer of title. So there is a transfer of title with a wraparound mortgage, even though there's no necessary lender or financial institution involved with this process, where they transfer the title from the seller to the prospective purchaser, and the seller provides terms for, a mortgage. And let's say that the seller's current mortgage is at 6%, so he provides a mortgage to the purchaser at 8%. So he's earning 2%, and then at the end of the term of whatever mortgage terms they've set up, the purchaser needs to refinance so that the seller can pay off their first mortgage.
Okay.
Oh, so it's very complicated, isn't it?
No. It sounds like a paralegal's nightmare.
It is, because there are a lot of legal ramifications, and this is what I want to, just a caveat to throw out to everybody, is that most 30-year, 15, 20, most mortgages made today, you have signed a piece of paper at closing that states, if you sell the property, you pay off this mortgage.
Yeah, there's in a lot of mortgages anyway, they've got this provision called due on sale clause. And if that exists, then it's my understanding you can't do a wraparound.
That's correct.
Now, can that provision be negotiated out of the mortgage after it's already there?
No.
Okay, so
Because
then
typically, and this is, I wish Andy Arn was here, but I believe that any changes that you make to the title and the deed after you have a mortgage, you have to get permission from your mortgage, from your lender, from your bank. So let's say I bought a house and I decided that I want to add my husband.
got 1 minute, by the way, Erica.
I'm supposed to get permission from them to add my husband. So any changes that are made to ownership, we are supposed to notify the mortgage company.
Well, it does seem a little bit convoluted, but hey, it might be an option for some. But I got to tell you, if you're buying a house or even still thinking about refinancing, please call Erica. At least see or hear what she's got to say, number one. And number two, I think you're going to be so stunned at how easy she is to get in touch with. It'll just blow you away. I want to pull my hair out sometime with some of the lenders. They'll go days without returning your call, and we're trying to get ready for a closing. But thank you so much for what you do, Erica. We are out of time, and I'll give everybody your contact information.
Thanks. You guys have a great weekend.
Thanks, Erica.
Have a great one. And right now, we've got South Carolina's #1 and most favorite attorney, Andy On with On & McKay Law Firm. How you doing, Mr. Andy?
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Oh, it's such a fine day today. And if
I hear you, and I'm hoping we're gonna get into some more consistently warm weather here soon. We've had a good taste of it the last couple of weeks, and I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I've been talking to our meteorologist, Brian Leonard, and he said it's fixing to be hot. So,
Well, that's good. I'm ready for it.
and if you could just see who I'm sitting beside.
That's what I understand. I understand you had royalty on the program today.
Good morning, Andy.
Good morning, my dear. I hope you're well.
Doing great. I'm ready for that warm weather, too.
I hear you. Let me tell you, Frankie, you've got one of the best in the industry right beside you there, and certainly one of the best stagers out there. We had a seminar. You remember that, Tiffany? It's a couple years ago.
Yeah.
On staging homes, and what a wonderful turnout we had at that seminar.
Yes.
And it was just really good information. And it's like she says, the little things make the biggest difference. And you can do some little things that aren't so expensive. You just need to have the right guidance. And Tiffany does a great job with that stuff. And I'm just so happy to have the relationship with her that we do. And we love you to pieces, honey.
Yep. Thank you, too. And I appreciate all your help.
Frankie, we had a great lunch and learn yesterday.
I heard that.
On buying and selling property on Lake Murray. We had about 33 agents there. It was really wonderful. Wow. And it was at a great listing, one of my wife's listings out there in Timberlake, and it was a wonderful turnout, really good information. I'm actually speaking, Tiffany, to Russell and Jeffcoat's corporate office on the same thing this afternoon.
Yep.
At lunch.
Fantastic.
So we've got a good turnout for that as well. Got a lot of RSVPs for that. So it's a good. People are getting excited about the warm weather, and they're looking at property on Lake Murray, and so it's time to kind of focus in on what we need to do to ensure that the right disclosures are made, and that the process is taken seriously.
Yeah.
We've got a great tutor and tour coming up next Thursday. We're actually hosting this at a listing out in Northeast Columbia. It's going to be on Old Springs Road, 104 Old Springs Road, and we're talking about the old favorite square footage issues. Square footage liability.
Fun.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting topic. This is the listing from Mike Taylor with Exit Real Estate Solutions, Jay Kim's office, and so we appreciate Mike and Exit allowing us to host this event there. But there are a lot of issues, Frankie, as you know, that come up with square footage. We are in a market where everybody looks to see what they can get cost per square foot. They compare. Pricing based on square footage, and that's just the way the market is. And so when you've got square footage discrepancies, there's an awful lot of issues. There are an awful lot of issues that can come up with that, and particularly for the real estate professional when disclosing this very important information, it's important to understand how to disclose it, how to make sure that you're advising your clients and other folks to verify that information, and some of the pitfalls that are out there, so that we can ensure that we're managing the risk for our clients and for ourselves.
Sure.
So that's what this seminar is going to be about. We've got Diana Como with Kersey Appraisals that's going to be participating in this with us, which we're excited about, and look forward to having a good turnout. So we'll get you a flyer over there, Frankie. You can get it on your website.
Sounds great.
Absolutely. Well, let me ask you, and if you don't mind sharing with us, nowhere in licensed law for real estate agents will you see the words agents must measure the house. But what the law does say is agents must verify all information they provide. Now, what does well, in terms of square footage, how can you verify square footage without somebody measuring it?
I totally agree with you. I think, and I do agree that that's what the law says. And I will tell you, what I have suggested, and I know that you do a lot of appraisals. You're actually doing one for me right now, and I appreciate that. But I also know that there are a lot of appraisers out there who will, go and measure the home for a reduced cost. Typically anywhere from $75 to $150. They'll go measure the home so that you can have a certified licensed appraisal as a basis for the square footage that you're putting in your MLS.
Yeah.
And that's part of what we're going to discuss today. I think a real estate professional takes on an awful lot of liability when they disclose a square footage amount without some basis or some source for that square footage amount, and then further without the admonishment that the buyer or the buyer's agent needs to verify that square footage.
Sure.
To make sure that they're getting what they think they're getting.
Yeah. I've seen from MLS, it'll have a square footage on the past history, and the county tax records is completely different. So neither of them match.
Yeah,
so, and it happens a lot.
It does. I mean, I was actually in an office, a Russell and Jeffcoat office the other day, and they were there was a young lady, really great agent. She said she was in the process of negotiating a foreclosure, and the listing said 3,200 square feet, and the all the measurements that were being done came out to about 2,400 square feet.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And I mean, and they looked at these BPOs that were out there, and they all came out with 3,200 square feet. In fact, once they had it measured by an appraiser, it was 2,400 square feet. The bank wouldn't move on it, though. They wouldn't move on the price, but that's where it was. And I tell you, they walked away from that deal, and thankfully, they were able to find it out before deals were inked. Because that's where the real problem comes into play. So I think it's important, and that's what this seminar is going to be about. So we're excited about it.
All right, we got less than a minute, but this is going to be this this coming Thursday.
This coming Thursday, March 26th, and we'll have we've already sent one round of flyers out. So just call our office at 803-744-0824. Speak with Aaron so that we know how many chicken wings we need to bring, and it's always a fun event in the evenings. We like to have a good time with it. So.
Well, I got a closing at your office at 3:00 today, so I can't wait to have some chicken wings.
Awesome. I appreciate it, Frank.
All right, Andy, have a great weekend, buddy.
All right, talk
Take
to you
care.
later.
Thanks, Tiffany.
Bye.
See you.
All right. And again, that was Andy On with On & McKay Law Firm. Does so much for the real estate community in studio with professional stager. Excuse me. And she gets me choked up every time. And Tiffany, I want to jump right back into this, but I know you've got a lot of statistics maybe to support one way or another, but if I'm going to do this or to pay someone to stage, what's my return on that investment, or can I expect a return on that investment?
It's fantastic. You're looking at the price of staging. Normally, like for a vacant home, it'd be about $600, $600 to $700, and you're looking at, if you had to do a price reduction on your property because it hasn't been moving, it's going to be a lot more than $600.
You're right.
I mean, they start at like $2,000 to $5,000 to $10,000 increments. So you can't. I mean, staging is way, way, way less than a price reduction.
And you've got, I assume, anyway, that that price depends on what it is you're being asked to do.
Right, right. What I come in and do normally is another agent or myself or whatever will call, and I'll go look at the house, and then I'll send a written email and just saying, yeah, this house would be good to stage. And then I'll give all the recommendations. But normally what I do is just for me, like what you get for like $600-700, is I come in and I bring in some art accessories, some curtains, shower curtains, greenery, things like that. And I just enhance the selling features and kind of camouflage the ones that aren't. And I do help before you get your house on the market or during, pick out paint colors and, help with some of those things.
Okay. Well, one of the toughest things sometimes to try to show is a vacant home. I mean, there's just nothing there but blank walls.
Right.
Is there really much you can do to stage a vacant home?
Yeah, there is a lot. And then, as an agent, when you're showing vacant homes, buyers and agents run through those houses a lot faster. They're kind of in and out. So you really want to stage that house to where you keep the buyer in there to see what all it has. That it's just not a vacant house. So really bringing in some art and accessories and things like that. You do not need furniture. I get asked that 9 out of 10 times. You don't need to have furniture for a vacant home, but it needs to have a little bit of life and be happy. It needs to be homey looking.
Something to start that creative vision.
Right.
Hey, see, I'm all over the staging stuff.
See, you're doing better.
Yeah.
Every time I see you, you're getting better and better.
Well, what do you have any statistics to support staging versus not staging?
And this is from the Interior Design Society and the Staging Institute from the United States. We got 95% of buyers agents say that home staging really has had effect on getting the home sold. We have 46% of buyers are more willing to walk through a staged home that they've saw online than they would another home. And that's another big thing that I want to talk about, is that 98% of buyers select their next home on the internet. People don't really drive around anymore and look at houses. They sit on their computer between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. So they're in their jammies searching for houses, and you've got to have good pictures. Staging is huge for that. Really, really big deal. So staging a home just for those pictures, and especially right now with the spring market and so much activity, when buyers are looking, now there's going to be 100 houses to look at instead of 25 houses. So if you've got better pictures, it's staged, you got really good pictures, they're obviously going to tell their realtor, okay, these are the 5 houses I want to look at now.
Well, I can imagine that if I have you come out and stage a home before it comes on the market, can you imagine how just crazy happy Jerry's going to be when he gets there to take those pictures, and he doesn't have to clean everything up and straighten things up himself?
It'll be a beautiful thing.
Because that's what he puts me to work every time we go out and take. We'll wind up moving the whole house around.
Yeah.
Put everything on that side of the house on this side, and let's start over again.
Yep.
And then we got to move everything back to the other side, because Jerry's going to be there a while, and he stages every photograph, every picture.
Yeah, photographers, it's serious business. They know, and they're trying to capture the beauty that they see, and you really got to do that because things look a lot different in person than they do on the picture. Yep. And I personally myself, whenever I'm getting ready to stage a house, when I do the before pictures, as I may even take them with my iPhone, but there's a focal point because you can't get the shots in every room like you're walking through it. So like, for example, if I walk into a living room and I see this beautiful fireplace and bookcase and the house is vacant, I know that I'm going to really stage that fireplace and that bookcase and stuff like that, because if a professional photographer or the agent is going to take a picture, that's my shot. That's your $1 million shot right there.
Hey.
So you need to stage the shot to make it look great, to get the people on the internet to get through the door and then realize, wow, this is my house. It has a lot of potential.
Are there any numbers to tell me what I might unstaged home might sell for versus a staged home? I mean, is that really?
No, but I don't have any criteria on that. But I can tell you that staged homes are on the market for less days, and normally they do. Usually it's at list price or it's going to be a higher offer. And there is one statistic, a new one that I do want to share, that they found that 30% of buyers are willing to overlook some flaws in the house if it was staged, because the staging, I think, created a sense of what it could be, and they overlooked some flaws just over that. So that's 30%. Those are new numbers, so that's fantastic.
That is just awesome. And in fact, you're going out to look at a house for me here shortly. Yep. And I can't thank you enough for everything you do and for coming in this morning, because I know how busy you are. But if somebody wants you to come out, and I got to tell you, especially if you're selling your home by owner, I think it would be really critical, because you're not getting any realtor suggestions or advice, and maybe to have somebody like you come in just to give them some staging.
Yeah, I love what I do. This is in my heart. I feel blessed every day to be able to help anybody, an agent, a for sale by owner, anybody. I'm here to help all, and all you got to do is just give me a call. The phone number is 803-309-7534. You can go to TiffanySowardsHomes.com. And you can even type in my name, Tiffany Sowards, Sowards, into YouTube in the search bar, and just take a look at all the before and after videos. But contact me anytime. It's a free consultation, and I'd be glad to tell you if I can help.
And one more time, your phone number?
803-309-7534.
7534.
Yep, you got it.
Awesome. Well, it's been a pleasure having you in studio
Thank you so much for having me.
And next week, just to give you a little heads up, I'm going to have my friend Craig Giles. He owns Giles Independent Insurance Agency, and we're going to be talking about obviously different types of insurance, but what a lot of people don't understand is, and I just give you this as a big heads up, if you move out of your home, you've got to contact your insurance agent. If you're not living there, you cannot have a homeowner's policy on a house that the homeowner's not living in.
Yep.
So anyway, we're out of time. Hope you have a great weekend. Please be safe. Thank you for listening to Success in Real Estate on the Point.